Surprise! We're back again with another surprise Apex this broadcast. Get the fellas at Apex, we'll give them another freebie here for shits and giggles. This week they've taken the GT3 machinery off to CIRCUT Jerez in I believe it's in Spain, this one. So we'll excuse me, pick up with the fellas here on track in just a little bit. Qualifying just underway. You see Corey Mitchell pull it into the pits there and park it. He's going to call it a qualifying session here. You see Wesley Bryce going to do the same. Feeling like they've had enough laps out there to put in the best lap that they can with the time that they're allotted. So as usual, 4-lap qualifying for folks out here tonight. 10 minutes to do such if they can manage to get that done within that time. So we jump on board here with Russell Elizondo, currently sitting in 6th spot in qualifying. Russell looking strong out there tonight in the Porsche. Nice paint job Russell's sporting. The Crazy Horse, say Crazy Horse Racing. Nice to see a nice painted up car there on Russ's machine. Hop on here with Aaron Sunday, currently 1 spot back of Russ. Aaron occupying 7th spot in qualifying. Looking to move up and try and leapfrog Russ, but he's running out of time to do it. As the clock ticks over, that's going to end qualifying here. So we'll get to the grid here in just a moment. But first, let's take a look at what we've got for race conditions out here. We are in CIRCUT de Jerez, Angel Nieto. As I said, I believe we're in Spain, and my suspicions have been confirmed there. As you see a Spain mentioned down on the bottom left corner. Track temp, they're 39 degrees Celsius, so it's a warm one out there tonight. We've got 61% moisture in the air and quite a breeze, 15 kilometers out there. I believe there's no rain in the forecast, so that little bit of moisture shouldn't really cause many issues for our drivers here tonight. So qualifying just finished up. Let's take a look at what we've got here for the qualifying standings and see where our drivers have placed. We got Jeremy Littleton up top of this one with a 137.8. Jeremy, I believe, started on pole last week as well at Daytona, so we'll see if he can not have that first lap mishap that he had last week and hold on to his P1 qualifying position here tonight. He's got Chad Sosnowski in 2nd place to his outside. Wesley Bryce and Corey Mitchell are going to occupy the 2nd row. John Cooper in 5th and Russell Elizondo in 6th. Aaron Sunday is going to start 7th. Roman Bykoff in 8th. Jason Beinhardt and Joseph Marr are going to make up the tail end of the top 10. They'll have Arthur Remus and Sean Teeter behind them, followed by Mark Bray, John Melicory. Ant Kruger takes up final spot in the top 15. They'll have Oz Exilu to his outside. Spencer Beaudoin and Paul Bailey are going to make up 17th and 18th position out there. Then in P19, we've got Mark Sherman and Aaron Law, Sean Giroux in 21st, and Derek Tyndall in 22nd, and Federico Del Toro in 23rd. We'll see if those last 4 drivers manage to hit the grid, as they did not put in times out there for qualifying. So see if they make it to the grid here. Okay, our drivers are gridding up. We see Jeremy Littleton sitting on pole here, getting ready to lead them around. He'll have Chad Sosnowski to his inside. We saw these two battling for the win last week, well, until Littleton has his unfortunate mishap on the start there. Our drivers starting to pull away. Corey Mitchell and Wesley Bryce will follow them around in P2 and P3, or sorry, P3 and P4, giving them a little more credit than what they qualified. Typical 45-minute GT3 race here for the Apex this season. The drivers will have to wait for the green flag to go. They cannot start beforehand. They cannot get a jump once the pace car ducks in. So they will have to wait for the green flag. Pace car is leading them around. Short pace lap here as they're coming into the final sector now. Quick little right-hand, left-hand combo, and then we'll head into the stadium complex to hopefully fire this one up. The pit car is going to duck in. One more corner to go. Then we're waiting on the green. We see Barney standing here with the green flag at the ready. Here comes our field around the final corner. We're just waiting for that green flag to drop and then we'll be underway. There it is. And they're off. Littleton battle with Bryce on the inside. Wesley Bryce trying to make a move. Sosnowski trying to go around the outside. 3 wide into turn 1. Everybody's still going. Looks like Wesley Bryce is going to jump up into P1. John Cooper just behind that red Ferrari trying to make a move. A lot of moving and shaking here to start. Corey Mitchell cycled back to P5. He's going to lose a spot. Jeremy Littleton down 2 spots to P3. Wesley Bryce with a fantastic start. He's to move up into P1. Tight battle here to start. I like to see it. Wesley Bryce saw an opportunity to jump up front and he's going to take advantage of it. He's going to lead them down the first back straight. Couple Porsches leading them around, and Bryce Sosnowski. Littleton makes a look to the outside, trying to fill up Sosnowski's mirrors the best he can. Sosnowski not falling for it. He's going to stay in P2. John Cooper, nice start here for him. Coop up 1 spot into P4. So we got 2 Porsches leading around, 2 Acuras, then another 2 Porsches. So it's going to be the Japanese-German battle out here tonight. The way it's shaping out. Have a look a little farther back in the field. We got Arthur Remus in 13th spot. He's down 2 spots from where he started. John Teeter just ahead of him. See him kicking up some dust in that black Acura. He's able to keep it on track though, Sean, with the red and black Porsche of Jason Meinhardt up ahead. Jason down 2 spots. He's looking to try and recoup that. Our biggest mover so far, John Melisciori. He's up into P10, up 4 spots from where he started. Nice start for John out there this evening. Everything kind of still status quo up front. Bryce still leading the way. You see Corey Mitchell in the background kicking up some dirt. Going a little wide, able to hold on to it though. Going to cost him a little bit of time too. John Cooper just ahead of him. You see that gap now opening up between Coop and Mitchell now up to 8/10. Or you can't focus too much out the front windshield. He's got Russell Elizondo looking to make a move if something happens with Corey. Russell holding tight on Corey's back bumper in 6th spot. He'd like to jump up into the top 5 if possible. We got a battle further back here between Kent Kruger and Mark Bray. This is for 16th overall. Mark currently holding down that position in the white and red Porsche. Kent looking at it and oh no, Kent comes around and gets tied up with Sean Teeter, who had it off. Oh, that's not what we like to see for the big dog, the chief admin of the league. Not sure what kind of damage Kent has on his car. Let's see if we can get a look at the front end here. Car doesn't look too bad. Most of the damage seems to be on the right front. Hopefully Kent can duck into the pits, use up that quick repair, although he doesn't really want to move in to use a pit stop this early on if he doesn't need to. That's unfortunate for him. We'll see if we can take a look at what happened there in a little moment as we got Sosnowski trying to make a play for first. Trying to get a better run through the outside. Bryce going defensive to try and hold him off. Bryce able to hold off Sosnowski for now. Littleton still sitting calm in 3rd place, just watching this carry on out in front of him. Could be a little bit of strategy here from Littleton after he lost his pole position. Sit back, save a little bit of fuel, let these guys battle it out, burn off more fuel than him. And hopefully he can just leapfrog them through the pits as we got Sosnowski trying to make a move now on the outside of Bryce. Bryce going defensive. Sosnowski's going to have to try and get the throttle down a little earlier on the outside. Bryce going to hold him off for now. Littleton tries to look on the inside. They touch. That's going to drop Littleton back behind Cooper. Cooper's going to take advantage of that. Not the start Littleton wanted here again tonight after last week in Daytona. Oh, he tries to throw it in deep. He's going to lose the back end and into the wall. Oh no, that's 2 weeks in a row. Littleton is out. The back wheels are not turning on that thing. He's going to have to tow. Unfortunate for him, another rough night for Jeremy Littleton. Good news for Jonathan Cooper, though. That moves him up into P3. Cooper will be happy to take that final spot on the podium if it plays out that way. You see up ahead, Bryce still going defensive, trying to hold off the charge of Sosnowski. Sosnowski looks like he got a good run through that final corner. We'll see if he's able to make a move into turn one. Sosnowski trying to late break on the outside, trying to hold that momentum around. Bryce going to try and fight him back on the inside. Bryce going to keep on to P1 right now. Couple double right-handers played in well for Bryce's defense. Sosnowski still trying to find a way around. Jonathan Cooper just sitting in behind, watching this battle up ahead. Probably licking his lips, hoping something happens as we go on board here with Coop. You see those two Porsches battling up ahead. Coop just salivating at the opportunity if something happens between the two of them. Oh, Bryce going real defensive, trying to hold off Sosnowski. Sosnowski trying to utilize that draft to move around the outside. We'll see how it plays out here as this battle continues on. These guys can't possibly continue on to battle like this so long. Something's got to give. One of these guys have got to give up the ghost, or they're burning more fuel than necessary here. They may regret it once the pit stops come around. Cooper and Mitchell may be able to save a little bit of fuel back here, not using up so much battling. They might be able to leapfrog these two and take over P1 and 2 through the pit stops. We see a car off in the dirt up ahead, kicking up some dirt. Wonder who that is. I think that's Teeter back on track after that earlier incident with Kruger. Oh, we see Coop try and dive it in on Sosnowski. They touch. Pushes Sosnowski wide. Cooper trying to tuck in the inside. I don't think he meant to do that, but he was heavy on the brakes real late. That's going to open up the gap between Bryce and Sosnowski now to almost 1 second. Now Coop having to fight off Corey Mitchell. Corey trying to take advantage of the incident between Cooper and Sosnowski there. Oh, Corey pushing Cooper around now, trying to get him back up there so he can battle some more. Corey does not want to lose those top two cars. See if we can go back now and take a quick look at what happened with Sean Teeter that caused this spin that tied up him and Kent Kruger. Oh, Sean just came hot into that corner. The back end of that Acura was not happy about it. He holds the brakes as one should, but unfortunately Kent, following the car ahead, just could not see where he was, and they tagged and away they go. Back live here now. Cooper trying to hold off Mitchell. Looks like Coop's managed to open that gap back up to about 4/10 between he and Mitchell. Sosnowski's now pulled away from Coop. Oh, we got Teeter off track again up ahead. Rough night for Sean Teeter. I think he's pulling it over and calling it quits there now after that last one. Sosnowski now closing back up on the back of Bryce, trying to renew that battle they just had earlier on. He's opened up 1.1 seconds over Coop. Not sure if Coop caused some damage on his car when he got into the back of Sosnowski there. He doesn't seem to have quite the pace that he had earlier, so we'll see if Coop's able to regroup himself, get back up there, and carry on. Take another look at what happened to Jeremy Littleton earlier on. We had him in focus when this happened. He just lost the back end, similar to what we saw Sean Teeter, but unfortunately for Littleton, he slid all the way out to the wall, and that was pretty much race ending for him, as he is back on track, but unfortunately down the standings. We'll have to see if Littleton was able to use that fast repair to utilize his pit stop too as well. I'm not sure if it might have been too early to be in the pit window, but we'll have to see how that plays out. But our leader's still battling it out. Bryce still holding off Sosnowski. Cooper and Mitchell still holding down third and fourth. Elizondo in fifth. They've got Aaron Sunday and Roman Bykoff closing up on the back end of them now. As these leaders have been battling, it's allowed Sunday, Bykoff, and Joseph Marr in P8 to close down that gap now. P1 to 8, separated by only about 2.5 seconds right now on track. So still anyone's race out there. Anyone can take advantage if something happens. You see Bykoff trying to put a lot of pressure on the back of Aaron Sunday's Corvette. Bykoff in the Acura. These two. Oh, looks like Roman's going to try and make a move on the inside of Aaron Sunday. Aaron's going to say, okay, Roman, go ahead. You lead the way now. I'll try and tuck in behind you. Pull us up to that pack up ahead. Joseph Marr thought about trying to make a move as well in there, but backed out of it at the last second. We saw him get a little squirrely. It's probably the best idea that he had through there. Might have got a little dicey, all three of them trying to fit through at once. Check in, see if Sosnowski trying to make a move around the outside again on Bryce. He might have it this time. Looks like Sosnowski getting a good run. See if he's able to get into the braking section and close off that. Bryce is still at the quarter panel. He's going to have to fight deep on this one. Bryce late on the brakes, still able to hold off Sosnowski. Tight battle here between the two of them. Although Sosnowski's going to have the inside for the next corner. And the next corner as well. He should be able to hold on to this if he can keep that position. I think Sosnowski might take P1 here. Just going to get ahead before the next right-hander where Bryce will be on the inside. Sosnowski is going to move up into P1. We'll see now if he's got the speed to start to pull away. Bryce is going to want to stay tucked on that back bumper as tight as he can. Utilize as much draft as possible. You see Cooper, Mitchell, and Elizondo lurking in behind. Coop looking to the outside of Bryce. Thought he might make a deep dive there. Bryce tried to go wide around the outside of Sosnowski. That opens him up to a charge from Cooper. Cooper not able to take advantage of it. He's going to tuck back in. Hold on to his P3 position as Corey Mitchell just licking his chops, hoping to try and snatch that P3 position away from Cooper. He looks to the inside of Cooper. Cooper able to hold on around the outside. Sosnowski now opening up 1 second over Bryce. Oh, you see Corey Mitchell getting a little squirrely behind. Drops a tire off into the dirt, had to gather it back up. Russell Elizondo right on the back bumper now. But as I was saying, Sosnowski is now opened up 1.1 seconds over Wesley Bryce. See if he's able to continue to leg out a gap there over Bryce. He was looking like he had the quicker pace. Bryce was able to defend well, but it was only a matter of time where Sosnowski was finally able to find an opening, take over that position and top spot on the podium. Bryce now having to deal with John Cooper and Corey Mitchell. Hard to believe we're only 13 minutes into this one. We've had non-stop action at the front of the pack. Let's take a quick look a little further back here. We got Joseph Marr trying to chase down Aaron Sunday up ahead. Like that battle between Bykoff, Sunday, and Marr is going to open up a little bit. Bykoff now almost on the back of Russell Elizondo up ahead, trying to get involved in that battle for P2. Sunday and Marr trying to get pulled along, join up with that pack as well. We got a battle here for 12th now between Mark Bray and Arthur Aremish. Mark holding it down in the white and red Porsche. They've got Spencer Beaudoin not too far ahead of them. Spencer just up in P11th there in the green, chrome green, and I'm not sure if that's a white, if that's just like a lighter green color. But anyways, in the Porsche up ahead, he's got John Melchiori up ahead. John was our biggest mover of the day, up 4 spots, with Spencer now is going to take that title, moving up 6 spots on the day into P11. Take a look at this battle for P2 still. We got Corey Mitchell kind of lurking in the middle of it. No positions gained, no positions lost so far for Corey. Holding steady where he qualified in P4. He's got Russell Elizondo up 1 spot for the day. Russell looking, trying to make those lines as wide as he possibly can, using up all the track possible. Trying to find any opportunity to make a move around Corey Mitchell. Wesley Bryce in P2. Open up a bit of a gap now over Jonathan Cooper. It looks like Coop's been a little more focused on trying to hold off Corey Mitchell behind than he has been able to try and make that charge up at Bryce up ahead. Drivers holding steady. We haven't seen anyone in the top try for the undercut here this evening. That's when they pop into the pits a little earlier, trying to open themselves up on track, trying to get into an area of the track where there isn't as much traffic, maximize their speeds. Against Corey Mitchell again going off wide in that same corner. That's 3 times we've seen Corey go wide in that corner now. And one of these times it's going to bite him where he's not going to be able to gather it back up on track, and Russell Elizondo will be there to capitalize as it stands. That last off track's allowed Jonathan Cooper 3/4 of a second gap here now over Corey Mitchell. Coop lurking about half a second back of Wesley Bryce up ahead. Chad Sosnowski continuing to open up a gap over P2. 2.5 seconds now between he and second place Wesley Bryce. I suspect we'll continue to see Chad pulling away as he's got the fast lap of the race. Only driver currently in a 138 lap time, 138.9 to Bryce's best 139 flat. So close lap times, but Sosnowski running the more consistent quick lap times. Bryce able to maintain the 1.1 seconds over Coop. Coop's fallen back a little bit that last lap. He's fallen back down to about 0.7 ahead of Corey Mitchell. You see Joseph Martin behind trying to make a move on Aaron Sunday. He was looking to the outside and then the inside. Sunday able to hold him off now. They'd best be served to try and work together to catch up to the back of Roman Bykov so they can chase down Elizondo in the top 5 up ahead. They've still got plenty of time to battle out for positions here, but try and get closed up on that pack and make a move later on. See Mara going to the inside. Sunday got a little wide in the last corner, kicked up some dirt. He's going to give that position to Joseph. See if they can close up on the back of Roman Bykov now. Three-car battle here for P12. Arthur Remish, Mark Bray, and Oz Exilu. That's your 12th, 13th, and 14th place cars. Tight little battle here for these three. See some different lines there as Oz taking a more shallow line. Not utilizing the full track width like he could. Try and maintain as much speed through the corners as he can. See a car kicking up some dirt just ahead. Nothing really to worry about. This moment in time, back into P3, John Cooper still holding down that position. Corey Mitchell trying to tow Russell Elizondo back up there, that they can battle Roman Bykov now firmly on the tail bumper of Elizondo up ahead. Roman's going to go off, kick a little bit of dirt up, using Corey's strategy through that corner. We see Elizondo looking left and right on Mitchell. Might be only a matter of time before we see Russell Elizondo attempt to move on Mitchell. Mitchell going semi-defensive into that corner, trying to place his car almost in the middle of the track that Russell Elizondo can't make a move. Sosnowski still continues to pull away. He's up to 3.2 seconds now over Wesley Bryce. Chad just got his it on cruise control at this point in time. Doesn't need to take much in the way of chances. Wesley Bryce now with the battle hanging on between Cooper, Mitchell, Elizondo, and Bykoff behind has managed to open up 1.6 seconds over Cooper in third. Oh, here we go. Russell Elizondo looking to the inside of Corey Mitchell. Corey's going to come across, block off that move. Corey's going to hold on to fourth place. Russell trying to find an area where he can garner a little more speed. Bykoff in the catbird seat if something happens between these two. Almost at the halfway point. Welcome in, Mrs. Sosnowski. Chad is out front doing well tonight. Let's take a look a little farther back on that battle we had a look at moments ago. Arthur Remish still leading around Mark Bray and Oz Exulu, although they've dropped Oz Exulu off the back a little bit. Battle for 15th place between Mark Sherman and Paul Bailey. Mark Sherman in the blue and white Cookie Monster paint scheme there. I love to see it. Mark currently holding down that final spot in the top 15. He's got Paul Bailey behind him in the all orange Porsche. These two are battling it out. We haven't seen pit stops from anybody who hasn't had an issue here tonight. Oh, something just happened to Spencer Beaudoin. Let's take a look and see what happened to Spencer just up ahead of these guys. Coming in hot. They go. Oh, he loses the back end into the wall. That's going to be some major carnage there for Spencer. Is he going to get straightened around? He'll have to head back to the pits to use his quick repair. I believe he should be in the pit window though, so shouldn't be too bad of a pit stop for him, as we see some of our drivers coming into pits now. Paul Bailey is going to follow in Spencer Beaudoin, as Spencer did make it around to the pits. Our first takers coming in on lap 14 to utilize their pit stops. The big dog Kent Kruger still in there. He never came back out after his incident earlier on. Unfortunate for the big dog. Chad Sosnowski almost a 4-second gap now over he and Wesley Bryce in second place. We're at the halfway mark in this one. Chad will be our halfway leader. Wesley Bryce holding down P2. John Cooper still in P3. He's still got Corey Mitchell, Russell Elizondo, and Roman Bykoff lurking in behind. I think Corey's managed to open up a bit of a gap between he and Elizondo. We'll see if Corey's able to try and put some pressure on Coop now for final spot on the podium. I think the Porsches get through that section a little better than the Acuras. Porsches look a little more dirty. The Acura's a little more floaty through there. Corey got a nice run through the final corner. He's going to be feeling the effects of the slipstream from Cooper up ahead, but not enough of a straight to get a run to try and make a move into turn one. Cooper will hold on to P3 for now. Jump on board here with Roman Bykoff. Let's go into the cockpit and see what Roman's having a look at just up ahead of him. And there we go, riding behind Russell Elizondo and Corey Mitchell up ahead. The various lines. Oh, Elizondo going wide there. Bykoff senses an opportunity to make a move. He's going to jump on it. That's going to move Bykoff up into 5th place. That's 3 spots gained on the day for Roman Bykoff. And that white and I'm going to call it like a carbon fiber paint schemed Acura. Next up on his list, Corey Mitchell in the red and black Porsche up ahead. Corey now with an Acura in front of him and an Acura behind him. We'll get a real taste of if there's any kind of speed difference between these two cars. Oh, Coop's going to duck into the pits. Our third place car coming into the pits, Joseph Marr, going to follow him into as well. Aaron Sunday heading into the pits too, so here we go. The first of our leaders heading into the pits. We'll see how that plays out if the rest of the lead pack starts to duck in to use their pit stops here in the next lap or two as we're past the halfway mark. Pit window, it definitely is open. Chad Sosnowski got that gap up to 5.4 seconds now between he and Wesley Bryce in second place. We saw Bryce get a great jump at the start, move up into the pole. He was under heavy pressure by Sosnowski for about 4 laps. Sosnowski was finally able to make the move around to take that position away, and he hasn't looked in his rearview mirror since. Battle for third now is Corey Mitchell, Rowan Bykoff, and Russell Elizondo. Corey got about half a second over Roman in fourth place. Although we saw Roman get by Russell Elizondo fairly handedly. See if he's able to catch up to Corey and try and make a move. All right, our leaders are into the pits. Sosnowski coming in. Bryce, Mitchell, Bykoff, Russell Elizondo going to hang around for another lap though. All right, we'll see. Russ, did you save enough fuel that you can carry on for one more lap? This is his opportunity. He needs to put in a real hot lap here if he's able to do it. He's got nobody to draft off, nobody to slow him up either, so we'll see how that plays out. Oh, John Melishori has crashed. Let's see if we can see what happened to him coming out of pit lane. Oh, I think it didn't look like he had his pit speed limiter on. I think he was speeding and decides to just pull it off. But all right, Sosnowski back on track. As we see Elizondo about halfway down, he'll have to duck in, no doubt this time by, to utilize his pit stop. Sosnowski with a 46.1 pit stop to Bryce's 45.7. So that's going to close the gap down between the two of them a little bit. Sosnowski had it up just over 6 seconds. It's down to 5.4 now. Still well within comfort levels for Chad. Corey Mitchell in fourth place. We'll see if he's able to leapfrog Elizondo once Elizondo comes through for his pit stop. As we see Elizondo into the final sector, we expect him to duck into the pits this time by. Couple more corners to go, and we'll see if he goes in. There it is, Elizondo into the pits. So Sosnowski should have no problem leapfrogging him back into first. We see Chad coming into the final few corners here now. And heading past pit entrance. That'll promote him back into P1. Now, Wesley Bryce, Corey Mitchell. There they come. Let's see. Elizondo still in the pits. Still taking fuel. There goes Mitchell past. Still in there. Bykoff's going to go past too as well. Elizondo coming out of the pits now. Cooper's going to go past. Joseph Marr past. Turns out that wasn't a strong strategic move by Elizondo to go that extra lap. He was not able to utilize it, but the real story right now, John Cooper back to 5th place. He was our 3rd place car heading into the pits. Jonathan Cooper with a 53.7 pit stop time. Not sure if he suffered a penalty heading into pits or what the issue was, but Cooper almost 10 seconds slower than the rest of the field. In his pit stop time, he possibly could have taken tires. We'll have to see how that goes, but that's going to move Corey Mitchell up into 3rd. Corey now is going to try and chase down Wesley Bryce. Corey with a quick pit stop, 4 seconds quicker than Roman Bykov. That's going to move that gap to about 3.2 seconds. Real strong pit stop by Corey Mitchell. To see if our top three have taken enough fuel though. I'm looking at the pit stop times for the rest of the field. Most of them are ranging in around the 47, 48, 49 second time. Our top three, 46, 45, and 45 second pit stop time. So we'll see how this plays out. Our top three hopefully have taken enough fuel to make it to the end here, but only time will tell as we've got 15 minutes to go in this one. So our closest battle right now on track is between Joseph Maher in 6th place and Russell Elizondo in 7th. As I mentioned, unfortunate for Russ, that extra lap that he ran seemed to have hurt. He's moved now from, we saw him in 5th place down to 7th. Trying to regain that position from Joseph Maher. Joseph currently holding down P6, up 4 spots from where he started. So tidy little run for Joseph this morning, or this evening. Check back in on 4th place, Roman Bykov. Roman cut a little bit of that gap down between he and Corey Mitchell. The gap now under 3 seconds. It was 3.5 after the pit stop. So Roman putting in some quick line at times. His last lap was a 139.8. Corey Mitchell's 140.0. Roman's going to have to find a little more time out there if he wants to close down that gap even further between he and Corey. Sosnowski continues to lead the way as he begins lap 20. Into turn 1 he goes 6.1 seconds over 2nd place Wesley Bryce. Chad has no need to look in the rearview mirror, just continue looking out the front. And he'll have this one locked up. Wesley Bryce up 1 spot from where he qualified. Tidy little run for him so far. Led for a few laps. Comfortably tucked into P2 as it stands. Although he's at 2.3 seconds over Corey Mitchell. But Bryce, the last couple laps have been quicker than Corey's. Been able to open up that gap a little bit more. Corey needs to find a little more speed to hold off Roman Bykov in behind. Take another look at this battle between Elizondo and Maher. Maher holding down P6. Elizondo in P7. Like Maher's been able to open up a bit of a gap between he and Russell. They got Jonathan Cooper up ahead. Unfortunately, they're just out of touch to utilize any draft off Coop. Coop running some quick times though. 139.3 last time by to Bykov's 39.7 and Corey's 40 flat. So Jonathan Cooper pushing hard, trying to get back into that battle for final step on the podium. Take a quick look at the weather, see if there's been much change. We're still holding steady at, oh no, we've actually dropped about 6 degrees in the air temp, down to 33 from where we started at 39. The moisture levels dropped too as well, so the air's getting a little drier out there, and track temps currently at, track temp down to 33 degrees. We were at 39 to start. So we've got a cooler track out there, so our drivers should be finding a little more pace with the cooler lap time, or cooler track, able to offer quicker lap times. what I was trying to say before I tripped all over my tongue there. Corey Mitchell still sitting solidly in third place. That gap, though, closing between he and Bryce. Under 2 seconds now between second and third place. Corey trying to put a late charge on for this one. 10 minutes to go. Running out of time to try and get himself up into second spot. So here Corey going down through the gears into the final corner. Trying to maximize his exit. Find any way to gain a little bit of speed over Wesley Bryce up ahead. Jonathan Cooper now got that gap to 8/10 between he and Bykoff. Coop coming hard. Last couple laps, he's been other than the leader, he's been the fastest car on track the last 2 laps. So Coop pushing hard out here in the Acura. See if he's able to put a last few lap charge on Roman Bykoff. I don't think he's going to have enough time to catch Corey Mitchell. Corey 3.6 seconds up ahead for final step on the podium. I see Bykoff going wide there. Starting to look in his mirror, seeing a mirror full of red Acura of Jonathan Cooper. See Coop driving it hard and deep into that corner. Bykoff goes a little wide, gets loose. That gap now to only half a second between the two of them. Coop can smell some blood in the water, and Bykoff is trying to sever that arm that's bleeding so he can continue on. But again, getting loose on the apron section of the corner. Bykoff pushing hard, is trying to gain anything that he can over Coop. Oh, I see him drifting around that corner. Roman Bykoff continues to drive like this. It's only a matter of time before he's going to lose the back end of that car. I always see him go deep into the final corner. Coop makes the move to the inside. The drag race now into turn 1. We'll see who keeps it. Looks like Jonathan Cooper is just ahead a little bit. Bykoff will have the inside into turn 1. Bykoff tries to dive deep on the brakes there. Coop looking for the crossover. Coop will have the inside for the next corner. Bykoff's going to try and power around the outside. Bykoff will have the inside for the next 2 corners now. Coop trying to power around the outside. It's almost full throttle through that corner depending on the track temps and grip levels. These two battling hard. Oh, Coop's going to try and dive it in deep. Oh, they almost touched there if they didn't. Bykoff able to hold on to it. Here we go down the back straight. Be Coop's best chance to make a move. He moves to the inside. He's going to have to get late on the brakes here. Not a chance to do it here yet, but that's opening up the door for Russell Elizondo to join this battle. Russell just behind. Go on board with him as he has a look at this battle raging up ahead between the 2 Acuras. Both of them overdriving the car now. You see them sliding and twisting out wide. If Elizondo just stays patient here, you might be able to pick both of them off. The Coupe has fallen back a little bit off the back of Bykoff. Bykoff goes out wide, kicks up some dirt again, holds on to it. Only a matter of time here before one of these guys gives up the ghost. They can't continue to drive like this without something happening. They're overheating their tires. The track temps have come down a little bit, but it's going to start to get greasy out there by the end of the race. A lot of rubber being laid down on the groove. Chad Sosnowski still out front of this one. He's opened up 8 seconds now over second place Wesley Bryce. As we got just over 5 minutes to go, we're currently watching the battle for 4th place between Roman Bykoff in the white Acura. 5th place, John Cooper in the red Acura trying to take it away. In 6th place, Russell Elizondo hoping something happens between the 2 of them. But Cooper's been able to gather himself back up, close down that gap between he and Bykov. We're going to the cockpit here with Jonathan Cooper. The different lines are taken here. Coop needs to take a little bit of a wider line, trying to maximize his speed through the corners that he can. He's going a little shallow. That's causing him some miles per hour here. You see Bykov all over the track, just sliding and drifting through. Those tires are going to be screaming for mercy now. So far, he's able to hold on to it, though. We've got 4.5 minutes to go. With lap times of a minute 40, it's possibly 3 laps left in this one. Time's running out while these three have battled. Allowed third place Corey Mitchell to walk away from them. Corey now 5 seconds up on that battle for fourth. Sosnowski, as I mentioned, up now a 10-second gap between he and Wesley Bryce in second place. Bryce comfortably in second, 10 seconds back of P1, but 3.5 seconds up of Corey Mitchell. We're back to this battle for fourth place. Bykov still holding on. Elizondo still tight on Cooper's back bumper. Joseph Maher now lurking in the background. He might get involved in this before all is said and done. There we go. Looks like Joseph Maher has gained into this pack here. It's now a battle of 4 cars for P4. You see Bykov continuing to use as much of the track as he possibly can. That car does not look all that settled. He's able to hold on to it as it is, but looks like at any moment the back end could give out on that white, black, and red Acura. Jonathan Cooper in P4, P5. The red Acura lurking behind, hoping something happens to Bykov, just itching for something to happen. We know Coop had to be seeing some red mist after his long pit stop dropped him from 3rd spot back to 6th. Under 2.5 minutes to go in this one, so 2 more laps. All these drivers have. Oh, Elizondo thinks about making a move on Cooper. Cooper now has gone from being on the offensive to being on the defensive now, trying to hold off Elizondo. Our leader, Chad Sosnowski, coming around to finish up lap 26. A few more corners to go for Chad, and then I'll be finishing up lap 26, and I believe that'll give us 2 to go. We'll have to see if Barney's waving the white flag when Chad passes by here as he heads into the final corner. There you go, and there goes the white flag. This will be the final lap. Our leader, Chad Sosnowski, is going to take it across the line. Let's check back in on that battle between Coop, Bykov, and Elizondo. Cooper and Elizondo close that gap back on Bykov now. Last lap to go. We'll see if anybody gets desperate here. Goes for a deep dive. Bykov right now holding 4/10 over Coop. Far enough ahead to avoid a real dive bomb. Coop's going to close down that gap into turn 1 though. See Corey Mitchell not too far ahead of them though. Corey had opened up a gap. I mentioned earlier that I wasn't sure if they had enough fuel. Looks like Corey's had to go deep into fuel saving the last lap. He's losing a lot of time to these guys. 3.5 seconds now ahead of them. If he keeps this pace though, he'll have enough to hold on to them, keep that P3, but if he has to slow up any more, it could be a little dicey. Oh, Elizondo drives it in deep on Cooper there. Thought about making a move. See our leader heading into the final sector now. Check back in him for a moment. Our battle here between these three. Sosnowski heading to the line. Into the final corner. One last time through the final corner for Chad Sosnowski. He's flashing the lights. Give him the checkered flag, Barney. Oh, he's not going to wave the checkered flag, but there we go. Chad Sosnowski's going to take this one. Roman Bykoff is going to hold off Jonathan Cooper for P3. We see Wesley Bryce and Corey Mitchell heading across the line for second and third. And at the line, Coop, not quite enough to do it. Tight battle between the two of them at the end. Roman Bykoff is just going to snatch fourth place away from Jonathan Cooper. So we're on board here with Jason Meinhardt. He comes around to finish up his race. Mark Bray, strong run for him, up 4 spots on the day. Oz Exulu coming home in 10th spot, 6 spots up on the day for him. Nice run for Oz. Taking advantage of some others' misfortunes and having a strong run. We got a battle here between Paul Bailey, Spencer Beaudoin, and Mark Sherman coming down to the line. A couple drivers had some issues earlier on. They all gathered up at the tail end of this one. Oh, we had a drag race here between Beaudoin and Sherman. Oh, Spencer Beaudoin is just going to take it away from Mark Sherman at the line. Okay, that was the last of our drivers. We'll let the standings calculate here, and let's take a look at the final results. We saw Chad Sosnowski brought it home in P1, 15 seconds over second place Wesley Bryce. And Corey Mitchell rounds out the podium in P3. Roman Bykoff and Jonathan Cooper had a last lap battle coming down to the line. Roman Bykoff going to hold on to 4th, Coop into 5th. Russell Elizondo in 6th, Joseph Marr, Jason Meinhardt in 7th and 8th. Mark Bray in 9th, Oz Exilu rounds out the top 10. Arthur Remish in 11th, Paul Bailey in 12th, and then that battle we saw between Spencer Beaudoin and Mark Sherman for 13th and 14th. Then we get into our drivers who unfortunately did not see the finish line. Aaron Sunday, Jeremy Littleton, John Millicori, John Teeter, and the big dog, Kent Kruger. Unfortunate instance for them. We hope to see them back next week and have a better result. So there wasn't a whole lot of incidents, I don't think, in this one, but we can quickly have a look at what went down. Just a quick little recap. First up, I believe we have Sean Teeter. Let's take another look at what happened here with Sean. So Sean have that solo spin. And then the unfortunate Kent Kruger says hello, and that was it for Kent. Sean did the thing you're supposed to do, hold the brakes, but I believe we go on board with Kent. That, see if we can get a cockpit view here of what Kent saw. I don't think he'd see a whole lot when he came around. Yeah, he's tucked up tight on the back of Mark Bray, and fortunately just a spark got out of the way. That's when Kent unfortunately met with the front bumper of Teeter's car. Well, it looks like during all this, Arthur Remish might have had to head off track to avoid Sean Teeter. Oh, he had invasive maneuvers off track. He and I'm not sure who that was behind in the Acura, but both of them had to take some evasive maneuvers not to get caught up in that one. Nicely done by the two of them not to tag each other. We saw Jeremy Littleton have a similar incident to Sean Teeter, but unfortunately His car is going to go all the way out to the wall. That rear suspension is booched. It's not spinning at all. Unfortunately for Jeremy, that's going to be a tow. Spencer Baudouin, we had a look at this one live as well. Spencer just with the too little rear grip out of that corner. Kisses the wall, gets it turned around, heads back into pit lane to perform his pit stop and use his fast repair. So wasn't the best result for Spencer, but fortunately it worked out as far as pit stops went for him. It happened with John Melchiori. John in the black and yellow Porsche. Oh, what happened there? It almost looked like I think he didn't realize where pit lane was. Tried to hit the binders to make a hard left, and unfortunately, the Porsche of, who was that? Arthur Remish was behind with nowhere to go. Unfortunate for the two of them. And Melchiori, I believe this was, yeah, he's speeding on pit road, and then he gets out of pit lane, realizes, and calls it quits. And that's it. That's it for this one. Thanks for tuning in, Mrs. Sosnowski. Hope you appreciate it. And that's it for this week at Circuit Ref. Let's take a quick look and see where these fellows are racing. Excuse me, next week. Next week's going to take them to Japan, to Suzuka. So that'll be an interesting week. Suzuka generally is one of the more popular tracks on the service, so we'll see how the turnout goes. But that's it for our freebie broadcast here tonight. Surprise broadcast. Hopefully our drivers had a great race, and we'll see them all back next week.